Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers of planet Earth. We are out here in nature, baby. But do you have a lot of negative thoughts right now? Are you at war with yourself right now? Are you turning in on yourself right now? Alas, don't worry about it. Look. How to stop fighting with your mind. Law of attraction. Powerful. Let's just... woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. That's the question that came in. Ralph, yes. I'm at war with myself. Uh-oh. A woman asked Ralph, how can I stop fighting with my brain, with my mind? Why am I turning in on myself? Why am I turning in on myself? Why do I have so much inner turmoil, inner conflict? Deep divers, has that ever happened to you? A lot of people, by the way, ask me, Ralph, where can I send you a question? Instagram at Infinite Waters. Please don't email me. I get thousands there. Thousands. We ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? So let me share with you what's helped me along my journey. Our mind is very complex, and throughout the ages, philosophers, mystics, scientists have all tried to understand our mind. Even in Egyptian mythology, Greek mythology, they have stories about the mind and how complex it is. In Greek mythology, Theseus and the Minotaur, the labyrinth representing our mind, and you have to find your way out of the labyrinth to free yourself. What? Slow motion this side. Our mind is very complex. But I've realized that you don't have to fight with your mind. You see, if you can become friends with your mind, best friends, your mind will start to work for you. Like the great Osho said, the mind is a dangerous master, but a beautiful servant. So, how did I learn how to stop fighting with my mind? How did I learn how to stop these negative thoughts? It all happened for me when I learned that I have to stop feeding my ego, which is edging goodness out. Once again, the reason why so many of us on the planet are at war with ourselves, fighting with our mind, is because we have allowed the mind to take over our entire existence. In other words, we have allowed our ego to have free reign. So, there was a time in my life where I was moving into my ego a little bit. And I'm like, hey, I'm a Pisces, so naturally, I'm a very free spirit. It wasn't me. I'm like, ego, you're a beautiful servant. You aren't gonna be my dangerous master, okay? I had to put my ego in check. The ego stands for edging goodness out. If you are letting your ego take over, your ego will destroy you, because that's all the ego knows how to do. That's all the ego knows what to do. Like, the ego is not your friend. It can help you. But it's not your best friend. Only your heart space is your best friend. If you are at war with yourself, if you're waking up with a lot of negative thoughts, inner turmoil and conflict, it's because you are out of your heart space. So the moment I started to move back into my heart space to say, actually, is this really me? Once again, your ego is tied into the persona. So when you say, oh, I'm this person, I'm that person, that's the ego mind. Once again, the heart space is nameless, right? The heart space, we don't have to define it, but it brings up a feeling inside of us, which is a feeling of being infinite. The ego will tell you this: you are the richest person in the world. You are the most attractive person in the world. You are this and you are that. You are so powerful. And that's beautiful. At the same time, the heart is just cool because it already knows. You see, what the mind knows, what the heart already knows, okay? What the heart already knows, the mind can only dream of. So, to really stop fighting with your mind, realize you are at war with your ego because you are in conflict right now. You know that your ego is a dangerous master, okay? It's time now to move more into your heart space. Your heart space always has your best interest at hand because it moves you back into your true authenticity. And that's what's helped me to stop fighting with my mind. Now, my mind is actually one of my best friends. Yeah. And it wants to invite you to a party and you can join the cat down the road tonight. Look, the great African proverb says, when there is no enemy inside, the enemy outside can't hurt you. So learn that you have to stop feeding your ego, because once again, the ego is very destructive. The ego only knows how to survive. It doesn't know about love. That's why the ego is all about me, 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 separation, separation, separation. The heart space is about unification, connectivity, higher states of consciousness. And that's how you stop fighting with your mind. It's time to start moving into your heart space today. How did I stop fighting with my mind? We all go through it. Some days I'm like, gosh, mind. But deep divers, it usually happens when I'm not in the right environment. If you are working in a job right now that you don't like, you will have inner conflict. You will be fighting with your mind because once again, the ego might want to keep you there because the ego is just like, hey, you can make lots of money. I don't care if you're not happy. You're going to make lots of money, right? The heart space is telling you, do what you love. There's a conflict there. Once again, you can't serve two masters. That's how to stop fighting with your mind. So I stopped worshipping my mind and started to let love guide me, not fear. In essence, I got abducted by nature. That's right. One day I'm walking around, a spaceship comes and grabs me and then dumps me in nature. I love this environment right now, okay? And that's how I stop fighting with my mind. I love my environment. So I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't want to be anywhere else. I'm happy where I am right now. All anxiety is created from the desire to escape the present moment. Many times we are fighting with our brain, our mind, because we're not happy where we are. Thus, that creates more anxiety. We have to learn how to be present to stop fighting with our mind. And that's what I had to learn how to become. Present. They call the present for a reason because it's a gift, which few open. But if you do, you start to see the serene beauty and tranquility that truly lies in existence. We have a monkey inside of our mind, the monkey mind, and that's how to stop fighting with your mind. You have to become aware of your monkey mind. Deep divers, have you ever woken up with a thought you don't like in your mind? It's kind of negative, and you're like, where did that come from? That's your monkey mind saying, don't ignore me. And you're like, shut up. Now it's going to wreak even more. It's going to wreak even more havoc. You see, every thought we have is a child. If you ignore your children, they will become unruly. You have to give them love, attention, and care. It's the same thing we have to do with every single child, i.e. thought we have. Slow motion this side. So I'm like this, monkey mind. You're a chatting monkey mind. How you doing today? How are things going, monkey mind? Let's play a little game. Let's do a little samba, baby. So I'm talking to my monkey mind with love, compassion, affection, care. I'm not shouting at my thoughts, my negative thoughts. Oh, go away, because then they multiply. Unwanted thoughts create more unwanted thoughts. So I'm like, hey, monkey mind, I love you. I love you. I love you. And it's like, oh, it starts to blush. Monkey minds get like that. They start to blush, okay? Then I'm like, here's a banana. And it's like, eating the banana is so happy right now. Then I'm like, rockabye baby, da 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 da, and then it goes to sleep. That's how to stop fighting with your mind. You see, you got to sit with your monkey mind. You got to sit with those negative emotions. You got to sit with the discomfort, the thoughts which you feel aren't serving you, that you want to push away. No, sit with them, because there's a message in the monkey mind. Oftentimes, it's because we have to pay attention to it. So what's helped me to stop fighting with my mind is to practice meditating every single day, which is the art of absorbing yourself in the present moment. In other words, sitting with your monkey mind, not trying to run away from it. Sitting with it, embracing it, loving it, giving it attention, care. Now your monkey mind's like falling asleep to your beautiful lullaby, okay? Now your monkey mind becomes a beautiful servant. It is now under your control and your command. Slow motion this side. This too shall pass. I'm here to tell you, if you have negative thoughts, this too shall pass. It's all about becoming an alchemist, which is the secret art of allowing external events not to govern your internal condition. It's about making the best out of the worst and not allowing external events to govern your internal condition. So if you realize that many times we are not in tune with ourselves, therefore we are at war. Therefore we are at war with ourselves. So it goes back into environment, because let's just say you go out, you go to a party, you're picking up all of these different frequencies. That's cool. But once again, that could trigger your monkey mind. It starts chattering. Through meditation, coming into nature, get abducted by nature. I'm telling you, that will help you to stop fighting with your mind. Go to a canyon, go to the beach, go to the forest. Now you're in that beautiful silence, that beautiful meditation. You are in the power of now. You're absorbing yourself in the present moment. So any negative thought that comes, this too shall pass. In other words, those negative thoughts are nothing more than clouds, and you can see them because you're like, I don't care. It's negative. It passes away, just like a cloud. The cloud stays over you when you don't want them to pass. When you're like, no, clouds, go away. Resistance makes stronger. Slow motion this side. What you resist persists. So learn that every thought you have is nothing more than a cloud. Everything is temporary. Don't stress. Everything is temporary. Don't stress. Everything is temporary. Don't stress. That includes negative thoughts, so they won't last forever. Now it's time for you to learn how to become an alchemist, which is the art of transmuting negative energy into positive energy. And that comes by allowing thoughts, not being in resistance to your thoughts, but allowing your thoughts. Being kind to yourself, being gentle with yourself. You're doing the best you can. Oh, you aren't? Well, start doing the best you can. 7-day vegan challenge. Shout out to everybody with guacamole in their mouth, avocados in their mouth, spirulina in their mouth, flax seeds in their mouth, butternut squash in their mouth, lentils and brown rice in their mouth, papaya in their mouth. Yeah, everyone's got their mouths full right now, and it's fantastic. Food when we talk about how it is linked to our mental state, there is a clear correlation. You see, many times before I became a vegan, I would just eat a steak, not realizing the consequence it was having on my mental and emotional state. To stop fighting with your mind, ask yourself, am I really practicing compassion? Am I really practicing compassion? You see, I've learned this. Peace of mind, yes, it's the highest form of wealth. Peace of mind begins on your plate. Slow motion this side. Peace begins on your plate. If you are eating and consuming tortured, butchered animals who didn't want to go out like that, you are absorbing their karma, their pain, their trauma. Thus, that is what you are becoming. Whatever you are consuming, you are becoming. So I stopped fighting with my mind once I started to eat karma-free plant-based foods. Okay? And I love animals. We're going to have an animal sanctuary. The cat down the road is going to be the host. It's going to look after all the animals. Right? So realize, if you are fighting with your mind, it's time to start honoring all life forms. Start realizing your dog, you love your dog, don't you? The cow is just as important as your dog, right? All life forms are truly precious, okay? So I'm eating karma-free foods to clear my mind, to stop fighting with myself. I can go to sleep at night knowing I saved an animal's life, okay? How to stop fighting with your brain? That's what you asked. With my mind, Ralph. Many times we get caught up in the labyrinth of our mind because we are labeling thoughts as good or bad. Once again, negative thoughts, positive thoughts, negative thoughts. Many times we only want to think positive thoughts. Being spiritual is not about being positive all the time. It's about being incredibly real. It's about being incredibly real. Fuck out of my face while I balance these chakras. Okay? It's okay to have mood swings. It's okay to be a little bit negative, because once again, a battery has positive and negative, but it's the one force. So what the alchemist knows, what the wizard knows, is that you can use that raw negative energy to work in your favor, to harness the raw energy. That's what riding the dragon was all about in mythology. You don't kill the dragon, you ride the lower energies to take you to the higher energies, right? You ride the lower energies to take you to the higher energies. So once you learn how to stop labeling your thoughts as good or bad, you remove yourself from the illusion of duality, good and bad, okay? There are only thoughts. What makes them good or bad, like Shakespeare said, is your thinking. So that's how to stop fighting with your mind. There are no good thoughts or bad thoughts. It's how you perceive your thoughts. Ultimately, it's about, are these thoughts serving me? It's time to stop thinking thoughts which are not serving you. To stop fighting with your mind, let go of whatever is no longer serving you, to make space for what can now inspire you. Slow motion this side. So once you stop labeling thoughts, you won't be in resistance to thoughts, because you're like, hey, they're just thoughts. You see, our mind can become a very dangerous liar, because our mind is really born off the ego, and the ego is all about survival. Thus, it creates a lot of stories. These stories are not necessarily true. Your mind can tell you that you are ugly. Is that true? No, it's not. It's just a story. If you believe it, it will become true. So realize your mind is a storyteller. We have to realize that that could be pretty cool, because If your mind, you can create a story that I'm an amazing being. I am the two most powerful words, because whatever you put after that, you will become. I am worthy. That's a great story for yourself. And now you become worthy, okay? So realize you have to learn how to start feeling worthy. To stop fighting with your mind, you have to learn how to start loving yourself. Kendrick Lamar, I love myself. That's a fantastic song, right? I love myself. That's how to stop fighting with your mind. I accept myself. I accept myself. That's how to stop fighting with your mind, okay? Many times we are in conflict because we don't accept ourselves. It goes back to comparing ourselves with other people. If you can't accept yourself, if you don't like yourself, you will always be attempting to live someone else's life. Thus, you will always have inner conflict because deep down, you know that's not you. However, if you are comfortable in your skin, you can actually appreciate your weird side. Don't be afraid to be the weirdo that you are. Now you stop fighting with your mind, okay? It's all about releasing resistance to who you truly are. Okay, release resistance and allow the flow. Allow the flow. You see, it's all about surrendering to every single thought you have, every single thought that flows through you. Stop judging your thoughts as good or bad, wrong or right. They're only thoughts. They don't define you. Let me repeat that. They are only thoughts. They don't define you. The moment I stopped identifying with my thoughts was the moment I stopped fighting with my mind. Your thoughts are nothing more than clouds. We are the primordial life force energy having a human experience. Our thoughts are the construct and product of a mind which has been conditioned. To reach the thoughtless state, as the great Krishnamurti said, you have to realize you are not your thoughts. And that's what's helped me along my journey. Stop fighting with my mind. We are multidimensional beings having a human experience. You transcend thought when you stop allowing thoughts to define you. And then you'll just say, well, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? Beautiful deep divers, we are out here in the heart of nature. Have a beautiful day. We're just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Infinite waters. Diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You! Positive, negative, we transcend them. We are now whole.